Good kill, good kill. Okay, good kill.
Hey guys, welcome back to another video. This is the same mission from a few days ago when that ZSU put that 20mm round right through the cockpit and in my brain. I couldn't just let this mission go, I have to try it again. I would very much love to succeed in this mission. I think it's a lot of fun. Those are the friendlies down there once again with the X's and the hostiles over there, which we're going to hit with cluster munitions. It's not the first time that we've had to try a mission multiple times to be successful. If you guys remember the Iranian strike mission where we were in Dubai, F-16 trying to get off the ground. I think I ran that mission like, I don't know, 7 or 8 times before I finally managed to survive it. So we're setting up the height of function here once again for the GBUs. Sorry, CBUs, I should say, cluster munitions. We're dropping CBU 97s, height of function. We're going to want 2600, there we go. We're going to load symmetrical. So you can load symmetrical if the other opposite pylon also has a cluster munition on it. But if it doesn't, you don't load symmetrical, right? So you got height of function 2600. This one will just load because on the other pylon was a lightning, the targeting pod, so we're not going to, and then 2600. And everything should be set up here. It does take some time to set up, but it is really important that you set up the height of function correctly for these cluster munitions. Again, if you set them so they open up too high up, they'll be very much affected by the wind. I have them all selected here. We're going to drop all of them on top of these guys. And, you know, if they open too low, well then they're going to be ineffective. They're not going to function properly. Alright, so last time I tried to drop the CBUs in 2 different runs. This time I'm going to drop them all at once. There they are. Got them on TGP. Just because it's not going to be worth it to do multiple passes on these guys. There's just way too much AAA and all this other stuff. It's just way too risky to come back around. They got a bunch of SA-13s down there as well. I'm going to start the dive here. Remember, there's also F-16s and Apaches and stuff here assisting. We're being locked up. We're dropping flares on our way down here. And we are pickling these away here. Pickle, pickle.
Pull up,
pickle,
pull up.
Pickle, pickle. Last one. We'll pull up. Dropping flares. We're going to pull off here. If we can just survive all of these incoming missiles, I believe that that was a pretty effective drop. Look at all these missiles. Wow. Do not stop dropping flares. Luckily the A-10 is not, you know, the engines are not producing a tremendous amount of heat, so flares are actually quite effective. I say that relative to like a fighter that's, you know, afterburner, F-16, F-15, that kind of thing. They're putting on a lot more heat for those missiles to track. Look at those cluster munitions. Oh. Absolute devastation down there. Still a bunch of these guys here. Let's go ahead and point the nose. We'll throw some Mavericks at these guys. Looks like enemy choppers are also being shot down. A friendly F-16 might have just been killed up ahead. I don't like that. Let's start dumping Mavericks into these guys here, and we'll follow it up with a gun run. Alright, I might have screwed up those Mavericks a little bit just because my nose was up, so I don't know if they're going to hit the targets, but regardless, we're going to do a gun dive on these guys here. There's a little column. You can see a bunch of, you see all that little smoke coming up there. That's all the guys who got hit by the cluster munitions. So that was fairly effective. Dive down on top of these guys and just dump 30 mil like their day wasn't already going bad enough. And then we'll peel off. You don't want to get too close to these guys. They got 20, 30 millimeter, 7.62. They got everything down there. So we're gonna peel off. Look at that. Lots of smoke, lots of damage. Leaving absolute carnage behind. The A-10. The A-10 just doing what the A-10 does. Absolutely crazy the amount of ordnance and damage that the A-10 can put out. You know, taking out tanks, soft targets like BMPs, BTRs. Honestly, this thing, if you can just secure the airspace, you know, which the Americans can probably do very well, almost in any combat environment. And Europe here is a little bit different. You know, China, Russia, this kind of thing can be a little bit more challenging. But in an environment like Iraq or something, you can lock down the airspace, and then you can, you know, do some seed, make sure all the big daddy SAMs are gone, right? You don't want any SA-6s or SA-11s or 2s around where the A-10 is operating. And if you can do that, the A-10 can just loiter and just destroy anything that the enemy throws at your ground forces. Rifle on this fella here. And that pretty much sums it up for, you know, all the bombs and Mavericks and stuff I'm carrying. From here on forward, it's just going to be the gun runs, which, you know, is still super devastating for the A-10. And I'm coming in from a side profile so we can hit, you know, weaker parts of their armor instead of head on. There's some trucks here full of infantry. Kill those guys. Look at that. We'll spray those guys in the back. A lot of this is just destroying enemy morale. That's a big part of it. couple of guys here, a couple of guys there, and we'll break off here. Look at that. Beautiful. Just killed like 7 or 8 dudes. Or trucks, I should say. Probably more than dudes. 7 or 8 trucks just annihilated there in that pass. And they did not like that. We'll make another pass and come around. It did take me a long time to work up the courage to learn the A10. It wasn't as complicated as I thought it would be, but it was very worth it. So, I don't know, if you're on the fence about it and you think you'd have fun in the A10, I don't know, I recommend it. I think it can be a lot of fun. If you're into the A10, if you're passionate about it, it's one of the funnest aircraft here in DCS. A bunch of friendlies here. Look at that. That Chinook is still on the ground. This VIP is really taking his time. We got to continue to provide cover here while that Chinook is on the ground. Look at this, there's still a bunch of guys. When they crest this hill, they're going to start catching friendly armor. The Abrams will start opening up on them. You see that F-16 ripping over top? I got to break away here because they were really lighting me up. And it was a frontal attack too, so their armor was going to really hold off my 30 mil. They did nick me though. Look at that. That Chinook is finally taking off. The friendly armor managed to stop whatever else was getting there. We thinned them out real nice. Not a whole lot of them even crested the hill there. They were quickly neutralized by friendly armor. And look at this, the Chinook is finally airborne and leaving. Took you long enough. Felt like an eternity covering this guy. Alright, let's head back over the base here and we'll provide a quick buzz for the morale of the troops and then we'll head home.